What's going on, everybody? Eric Lindquist at Stochastic here on the Odd Chopper channel, coming to with another edition of Liddy's Leans, Likes, and Locks MLB edition. Hit that like button, subscribe button, notification bell. Goes a long way for me on this video, goes a long way for you. That way you become apprised whenever great content is going live here at our little neck of the YouTube woods on the season. 5-5 on locks. Heading into this, we've got two of them on the card here from Tuesday, that being Baltimore money line, and that being this over that we're in the middle of. The Baltimore game just hit first pitch here. I am paying attention very closely. We had five runs from the Cubs in that first inning. But think, there's no sweat. No, we're going to the top of the seventh, 6-2, 8 runs, 2 for the push, 3 for the win. God, it is so homer prone there too. We've already got 3 home runs on the board there. We had 2 in that first inning. Tautman and Mr. Cody Bellinger had the Cody Bellinger one on the card. So that felt good. Did some round robins, was working on some stuff to take advantage of certain game environments where you might be able to piece it with a play here, piece there. Going to work on that because I do think you can have small exposure for high upside. Not a huge parlay guy. I think most people know that unless I'm talking about the pick'em streets, but want to kind of incorporate some of those in the prop streets here too into some of the analysis. Only a couple of props. We do have one that's we'll see. There's going to be a spot there in Kansas City to potentially target some home runs, but I got a lot to talk about here. 15 games yet again, every team in play. Producer Jacob, hi, hello. We'll talk BetMGM. We'll talk Odd Chopper. You can sign up for both of those down below. Let's get to the picks. Game number 1 here. We've got the Arizona Diamondbacks, the St. Louis Cardinals. It's 14-1 at the moment, so absolute evisceration going down right now. Down in an earlier round. Sugar, we're going down swinging. We're going to back Jordan Montgomery, loaded one with a bullet. Loaded got complex, cock it and pull it. He's facing his former team here, and Jordan Montgomery can be a serviceable lefty when called upon here, but I don't think it's that we're going to get any taxed out bullpen here. I bet they just kind of play some garbage arms, but it's Gibson on the other side that I really want to be attacking. He's not good at this stage of his career. 526 expected slugging, 14% K rate, 11.8% barrel percentage. Saw it with a million baseball teams here in recent years, most recently Baltimore. Just don't like the stuff. I think it's pretty easy to look at anything in his track record over the last couple of years and know that he was going to start getting hit up sooner rather than later. This Arizona team has enough lefties, enough said. We've got some props listed already for this one. Sean Manaea taking on San Francisco and Logan Webb here on the other side. Let's start with Manaea, who he's going back to his old stomping grounds too. A lot of former teams. It's amazing how much some of these pitchers bounce around from team to team to team. I mean, it's not just pitchers these days, but just saying everybody for the most part. Yeah, feels like everybody's played for multiple teams except for Mike Trout, and he's probably the one guy who shouldn't have played for just one team. That's for sure. Wasting away again in Margaritaville. I'm sure he's singing that to himself with hundreds of millions of dollars, crying himself to sleep. No, he plays a bunch of golf in Anaheim for anybody who cares about such things. Plays a lot of golf. But Sean Manaea, back to him. Sean Manaea, the Hawaiian here. Pretty decent case stuff. Everything else has been a little bit wonky. It's an afternoon game in San Francisco. Wind's blowing out to left, although this stadium is built to mute the wind effects, so that doesn't matter to me nearly as much. It's just that we potentially have Logan Webb. We also potentially have a chance where it could be Blake Snell out of the middle of nowhere. So I want you on high alert for it. But the guy who's listed everywhere is Logan Webb right now at books. They have his K prop at 4.5. I do think we're going to start seeing him strike out more batters than less batters very, very soon here. But only a 17.9% K rate. It's a Mets team that shouldn't be striking out a ton against right-handed pitching. So at the same time, even though they have a 21.1% K rate, which is about middle of the road, a little bit better than middle of the road there. I think 4.5 Ks is still a little dicey at -140 at DraftKings best available line. So I'm probably going to just wait and see and react to it. And obviously, if it's Blake Snell who ends up pitching, none of this matters. Baltimore, I really want to back in this spot somehow, some way, because I do think Dean Kramer is going to be a better pitcher than he's shown so far. 593 expected slugging, even worse. 13.9% barrel percentage. But Tyler Anderson's doing such a good job. Mr. Anderson, limiting that hard contact, 29.3%. Does have a 10.7% barrel percentage. We'll probably see something where Westberg, some of these riders are moved up. And Heston Kierstead, this is going to be a kid that I want to be paying attention to, but it's another lefty. I doubt he cracks the lineup here right away, but a number 2 pick. Baltimore did such a good job of configuring this baseball team. They now have Gunnar. They have Jackson Holliday, who's the best young prospect in baseball, although he's off to a terrible start in his major league career. I think we just end up passing here, although Baltimore money line, if any money comes in on Anderson, which I don't know why it would here, I think an afternoon game in Anaheim where you have a better lineup on the Baltimore side, That's kind of what I'm gearing for here, but just going to be a lean for me. OS Premium Tools Discord Insider Access, friends, for the low price of $14.95 weekly, $49.95 monthly. You have an opportunity to get the best tools in the game from OddsShopper, plus Discord Insider Access, which is access to me, to Ben Raza, and Ben's Bet of the Day, to all the people you know and love here on the OddsShopper channel. So check it out. And if you use promo code Lindy, Lindy, that's my name. Don't wear it out, or do. I'm fine with that too. Expert Picks, Discord, Premium Tools, all yours for 20% off that first week or first month. So that'd be $12 for your first week, less than $2 a day. Come hang out, see what we are up to. We got NBA rock and we got MLB going, friends. Great stuff. Check it out. Back to the picks we go. Don't have a ton to talk about here other than Carlos Carrasco is a guy that I'll continue to cheer for. I think it ends up being Criswell, although we don't have that officially listed here from the Boston side. Cooper Criswell, that is, 29.2% hard hit, only a 13.3% K rate. But if you limit hard contact, that's kind of the main thing that matters with Cleveland because they don't really strike out as is. They do have Bo Naylor, Gabriel Arias, Ramon Laureano, always 7-8-9 that strike out a ton, but and they're 7-8-9 as opposed to Jose Ramirez, Will Brennan, Rocky Yo. It's kind of a Rufio joke. I don't know. It's probably not the right audience. How many people saw Hook back in the day? Enough? Hook was fire. My boy. They played baseball on the ship. Just thought I'd throw that in for a fun fact. But Carlos Carrasco, we're going to cheer for him. Probably from a distance in this one, 286 expected slugging. When these numbers drop, I expect Cleveland to be pretty decent favorites still. I know that they're still missing some pieces on the Boston side, but I'm not a huge fan of trying to go out of my way to pick on them here. I'm probably going to end up passing more than likely, but it's a lean on the Cleveland side for now, more than likely. Again, price probability. At the time, don't have the price probabilities, definitely on the Cleveland side. Nothing like trying to run this back 3 times in a row. Ended up actually hitting eject for the premium Discord, everybody who tunes in for that hour beforehand, purely because, was there a fuzzy there? Purely because there was some interesting weather, ended up not coming to fruition, but Cincinnati sure brought their bats to Great American Small Park. 8-1 there, ends up being a push for anybody who got on 9, but we're looking at Turnbull and Ladola with a 9 total here. I'm going to back the pitchers. I think Philly and Cincinnati just have really intriguing arms, whether it was Christopher Sanchez, who didn't have his best stuff, but I will say there were some horrendous errors. It was weird to watch some of those Phillies errors that were happening. So some fluky runs that were thrown into the mix. Again, it's baseball. That stuff is going to happen. It just sucks when it happens on unders, the major league level. But anyway, Spencer Turnbull, 278 xWOBA, 25.9% K rate. Awesome start to his season here. Just a revamped arm, retooled arm in a lot of ways. 2.97 expected ERA, so much better than the 6.12. I think that's the main reason that I'm not locking this, because I do think Nick Ladola has one of the better curveballs in all of baseball. Like his off-speed stuff, 2.53 expected ERA, 35% K rate thus far. And that K rate, friends, that's up from around 28, 29% where his career average has been over the last 2 years. So for me, I like the under of 9. I think it's a pretty clear-cut play. Yet again, weird to see 3 unders in a row at Great American Small Park, I must say. Milwaukee and Pittsburgh, and somebody just hit me up on Twitter and said that they're done with Pittsburgh for the rest of the season. I don't know. I don't have banned lists. That's not my thing. I do think Pittsburgh was always due for negative regression. I've said that 3 or 4 times, I think, on this program for sure. But will this be the spot? Will this be the spot? I don't know, but I would rather back Bryce Wilson and these Milwaukee bats, mainly because Milwaukee, I don't expect them to be the 3rd best team in baseball come season end against righties. That's just not in the cards. But Quinn Priester, son of a priest, man. That was actually a good one. Quinn Priester, friends, not very good as it is. 676 expected slugging. Does have a ground ball rate so far this season, but that's all 1 start, and we're not going to read anything into it. 6.28 expected ERA from last season, 6.72 in that first start. Not great, Bob. Not great. Would definitely be looking at the Milwaukee side if we're getting any kind of value here, but as of right now, kind of need the price. I expect Milwaukee to be favored, and that, friends, makes me uncomfortable. The Dodgers, Washington, they decided to not bring their bats to the yard, and they're like, they're better than yours. Shohei Ohtani hit a bomb. It's better than yours. He'll teach you, but he'll have to charge. How about a home run on the other side, though? You're with Washington. I think we might be targeting it, but first, you got to at least throw it out there who's the Washington starter and who everybody wants to bet the Dodgers on. Notice how we kind of been hitting refrain from backing the Dodgers here in the last 2 weeks. They've been very publicly backed, and Jake Irvin and this Washington team, it's interesting. Not grading out as poorly as I was kind of hoping, and part of it is Landon Knack on the other side. But Jake Irvin, 282 expected batting average isn't good, but 23% K rate, has just got done facing this very same Dodgers team at his last start. They were out here in LA and doing the whole thing, and well, 6 strikeouts, 6 innings pitched, was pretty darn successful. He's got the ingredient of just off-speed stuff and avoiding barrels. That's what you really need to do against the Dodgers. There is no question about that. But Landon Knack is the guy I kind of want to pick on. 381 expected slugging. I looked through his pitch mix, was just curious about what we were looking at from that first start. 93 miles per hour, but an 857 expected slugging on that fastball. Makes me a little bit worried. Throwing that slider changeup, nothing is grading out all that well to me, but he's a second round pick, 60th pick, 2020. Looking at Fangraphs, they think he's okay. Just Zip Steamer, some of the projection sites are a little down on him, and as such, well, I want to look at a lefty bat. Now, CJ Abrams has been on fire. So I don't think we'll get any value there. But Jesse Winker brought him up a lot on this program. Only 2 home runs so far this season. I expect that to come up. He's healthy for the first time in a long time. 462 expected slugging, 14-degree average launch angle. If that continues, he's going to have more homers come season end. That would be sad if he didn't. So Jesse Winker, anything better than plus 450 will be on the card for a homer. Detroit and Tampa, this one's super, super easy to me. I'm kind of surprised that it didn't grade out as a lock, but that's the respect I have for Tampa Bay at home and pitching in this ballpark, and also what they're able to do with pitchers. So I'm going to start with Tyler Alexander, who last season, 3.61 expected ERA. Pretty decent stuff overall. He obviously comes from Detroit, so there's that. And Detroit, not really known for advancing their arms correctly, but Tampa Bay sure is. So they like something about Tyler Alexander. What that is, I'm not positive about yet. 34.3% is pretty good. He's a fly ball prone pitcher. That's kind of always been his MO, working through all of his pitch mixes. 34.9% fly ball rate last season, 35.8 so far this season. But if you're getting weak contact on it, just fine here for the Southpaw going up against Detroit, who against lefties, haven't been as good as you would expect. 24.1% K rate, 83 WRC plus. But none of that matters, friends, because we're going to back Jack Flaherty, yet another dude who comes from St. Louis, not really known for advancing their arms. Detroit here, but Jack Flaherty getting out of St. Louis was a good thing. 29% K rate so far, 33.3% hard hit, and not walking anybody. I think against this lineup, Tampa, I think we want to be picking on, just right on right here. I think this is just going to be an all right spot here for the foreseeable future. Tampa, they do have some pop, but only a 126 ISO against righties. Pretty surprising numbers at the start of this season. So let's keep it rolling. Detroit money line. I like it for a half unit. I also like this if you haven't signed up yet. First bet safety net up to $1,500. Go down below, friends. Get your bonus bets if your first bet loses. Here's what you do. You go to the link down below. You bet 20 or 50 or 100 or whatever you feel comfortable with, up to $1,500. So if you've got the means for it, awesome. You got a great opportunity to really go for gold there. If your bet doesn't win that you fire up, again, I suggest a big plus money play, but that's just the math approach. If there's something else you feel comfortable with, awesome. But take advantage of every single cent that you possibly can when a book is giving you an offer like this, because if that bet loses, it's coming back to you in bonus bets. Great opportunity to get it in good over at BetMGM. If you have FanDuel, if you have DraftKings, if you have all the other main sports books, add BetMGM to the repertoire, because again, the best way to improve your betting immediately, that, friends, is by shopping for the best lines. It's only if you're 21 and over. If you have a gambling problem, please call 1-800-GAMBLER. Back to the picks we go. Oakland, New York, Juan Soto. Yeah, this is actually going to be a pretty quick one. We got Clark Schmidt on one side. Clark Schmidt, he was the arm that was promised. You said you were going to be good, and so far he's been good this season. I kind of like some of what he's doing. Now, 26.7% K rate. It's a strikeout thing. I mean, he throws a cutter. He's going to make that work for him, but other stuff hasn't been completely perfect by any means. And, well, 4.15 expected ERA. I'll say it's a little bit better than last season, 4.64 ERA, but 3.15 actual ERA here with a much improved K percentage. I think overall that is kind of what I'm highlighting, centering, starring, circling, however you want to put it. Plus velocity up nearly a mile per hour on the fastball. We're down in velocity with so many pitchers. Want to at least throw it out there when somebody is finding a little something more there in the tank. But Joe Boyle rules. Joe Boyle rules. Well, hopefully not here, because 14% walk rate, that's not great. 259 expected batting average, not ideal. Does limit some hard contact, but there's a guy in Juan Soto that I'm telling you, it's going to just start getting ridiculous. He had a ridiculous first series that was going up against, who was it? Houston. That's, of course, when we had the lock very first day of the game. But 5 homers here. 28 hits and 87 plate appearances, 322 average, 552 expected slugging. I'm expecting better things considering this ballpark, considering who he's got surrounding him in the lineup. Stanton, Judge, obviously right behind him. I think Soto is somebody that I just want to be in on some 2-baggers against some righties in this little bandbox that they have in New York. So I think 2+ hits or 2+ bases is the better ideal path. Based on previous numbers, I went to the bases side of things. But we do know that this is a small Yankee Stadium. Finding a quarter of a unit or even something smaller just to get a little bit of home run exposure, not the worst idea either, but Juan Soto, 2+ bases, the preferred play based on where I think these numbers are. Getting plus money here would be awesome. What the hell am I supposed to talk about? We don't even have pitchers. What are we doing? I think Reynaldo Lopez ends up being the pitcher for the Braves based on rest, based on how things pan out. So I'll at least say 233 xWOBA, but 256 expected slugging. We've bet Reynaldo Lopez a lot, like a lot. Now, I think for the Miami side, it ends up being Ryan Weathers, but that's not confirmed either. 37.7% hard hit percentage for him. Yeah. We're probably going to have to bet against him. I'm just going to call it in Atlanta -1.5 lean for now because Miami's like the second worst team in baseball. Although Chicago's trying to show that my Twins aren't that good either. And the White Sox, they're bottom 2, bottom 3 with Miami. It is what it is. Just pay attention to these numbers tomorrow. 5 games to go. Hit that like button, subscribe button, notification bell as we go to Houston and Chicago. Wind did a little flipperooski. Now going to be blowing in for tomorrow, but we get an 8. That's a key number here on an under. Probably just going to be steering away from it. Mr. Arrighetti, we need to get some sample size on this young individual before I can really tell you anything else. And Jameson Taillon, we were supposed to get a star for him recently, and well, we ended up backing him to a lock last week because I thought everything got voided, got moved to Friday. They had the same pitchers, and we played it, and thank God the Cubs won. So that made me go Cubs, go. That whole song, whatever. 355 expected slugging, 22.2% K rate. He's just going to, I think he's just going to find some success here. I think Arrighetti does, though, as well. But under 8, it's just such a brutal spot to try to pick anything here. We got Rodriguez. We got Marsh, Mr. Marsh here on the mound. Let's start on the Marsh side here on the Kansas City side because, well, I don't think we're going to necessarily be backing any Toronto bats going up against him. He's doing just enough in the hard hit department to make it a little bit scary for me. Now, it is a 16.5 degree average launch angle, but 4.4% barrel percentage is pretty darn decent. If you're avoiding that, you're avoiding some of those homers, and that's what he's doing. Doesn't have the strikeout stuff, doesn't put extra guys on base, but again, some solo home run shots may be available if Schneider continues to be in the lineup there. Justin Turner, Vlad Guerrero, just pay attention to it. As for Yariel Rodriguez, we going to target this dude. 50% hard hit thus far, 580 expected slugging, 17.3 degree average launch angle. So it's up, and an 18.8% barrel percentage. I don't care that he's been missing bats so far. Again, 40.6% strikeout rate. It's just 2 starts. I'm far more concerned when he starts facing teams that don't strike out a lot, what happens to those power metrics? Because Kansas City, friends, they are at 20.4% against righties here so far this season, 24th best at avoiding strikeouts with a 106 WRC plus, and they have power. 179 ISO, friends. That is 3rd best in baseball. So I'm going to pick 2 lefties that don't strike out a whole hell of a lot themselves here. Sweet Melendez. He doesn't strike out nearly as much or less than this other guy. 23.4% for him. A little better against righties, but a 41.2% hard hit. But Vinny Pasquantino, friends. Vinny Pasquantino, 10.1% K rate. Not missing the ball. 41.8% hard hit, 437 expected slugging, 2 lefties. that I find to be pretty intriguing backs against Rodriguez with these power metrics and barrel percentage. My Twins taking on the White Sox. Oh, man. Just watching this. Hey, Timberwolves are up 15 with 7 minutes left. Been watching that one. It's been enjoyable. Anthony Edwards just hit another bucket. It's 96-78. Yeah, I'm just watching this game. Let's be serious. Want to know why I'm talking faster? It's all right. You're getting the same exact analysis. I've spent forever on this. So, Crochet, Ryan, I'm looking at a double strikeout potential here for this one. These are two teams, friends, that are just abysmal here. We're going to get some lefties that have to be in the lineup for Minnesota, and they have a 25% K rate against lefties here so far this season. Mr. Garrett Crochet, 32.7% K rate. He's coming off of a terrible, no good, very bad outing against the Phillies, I believe it was. 7 earned that he had in that spot. I do have some concerns there, but against my Twins, I do think the strikeouts are just going to be there. Buxton probably going to do it 3 times himself. As for Joe Ryan, also strikeout stuff so far this season, 32.3%. He's got a career 27.8% K rate, so I feel pretty good about that sustaining. And he gets the White Sox on the other side, where they strike out an absolute boat ton too, 23.7% K rate with just a 64 WRC plus against right-handed pitching. So 7+ Ks for both is like the baseline that I'm throwing this out at. They're probably going to open at around 6.5, but I want you to know K ladders on both. They are in play. Take a look at them tomorrow. Crochet, Ryan, look at them. Be alert. I want to fire them up. I do. Super quick one here. Seattle, they got on top of Dane Dunning. Dunning. Maybe because I didn't even do that yesterday. Sorry, Dane Dunning. Actually, you were going to be terrible anyway. But John Gray getting strikeouts on the other side, not doing anything else well. 15% barrel percentage, 47.2% hard hit, and struggling here with some lefties. And there are some lefties they can throw. Cal Raleigh switch hitter. They've got, well, that's pretty much it. Luke Raley, I always like. Jorge Polanco switch hitter. JP Crawford, Josh Rojas. We talked about him the other day. So, yeah, lots of ways that this can work out. Also, I'm sweating balls here. 6-2, top of the 8th. We are getting a walk from Kyle Tucker. So now it is Alex Bregman. Alex Bregman, we need you to do something with this at bat to get some guys home here. Whew, this is a sweaty one, friends. But anyway, Waldron's the only known quantity that we really have here at the moment. Bryce Miller it is. Bryce Miller going to be the starter for the Seattle Mariners here in this spot. And I like getting to the Seattle Mariners side going up against John Gray here. 226 expected batting average, 26.1% K rate. Better pitcher, better pizza, Papa John's or something. Actually, we don't like Papa John's anymore. Got canceled, right? I think. I don't know. It was funny to say, though. Now we go to Mr. Waldron as the only known quantity, friends. He will be on the bump against God knows who on the Colorado side of things. So just be on the lookout for it. But Mr. Waldron, sorry, I was kind of jumping the gun there a second ago. But Matt Waldron, friends, 11.1% barrel percentage in Coors. Not great, Bob. Not great. 453 expected slugging, not ideal either. Does have the ability at times to find some strikeouts, but see, it's not like a knuckleball. It's knuckleball time. That's his primary pitch. He's just like going out there trying to make it move. You never know how that's going to work at altitude. I will say if it's not moving, you're going to get hit up even against Colorado. That's absolutely terrible against righties. 76 WRC plus, 27.6% K percentage. So lots of ways that I think this pans out. But I got to say, Colorado is just so bad here at this point in time. The bullpen's so bad. 540. This is the last game of the night here. It's pretty wild to think about. 8:40 for you people with normal time on the East Coast. So there you go. Michael King, Ryan Feltner, going to be looking at many runs in this one. I think you should be paying attention to them too. That does it. And that does it for another edition of Lindy's Leans, Likes, and Lots. You know what to do. Go to that comment section below. Let me know your favorite plays that exist on the board for this lovely Wednesday 15-gamer. Every team in play that we have before us. Thank you, producer Jacob. I don't really have anything else to add. Check out BetMGM. Check out all the greatness that we have going over there. Minnesota, let's go. We got the cover there from my Minnesota fucking Timberwolves. That does it. Until next time, friends, I'm Eric Lindquist. Best of luck in the MLB. Yeah, because that's what we're talking about. MLB streets on Wednesday.